Pull up a seat, let's take a ride. Yellow couch where dreams collide. Stories of queens who rise so high. Through the storms we've had to weather, we're building bridges here together. Yellow couch vibes feel the spark, lighting up our stories from the dark. Tell the truth, it's our time to shine. On this couch we're divine. Yellow couch vibes feel the spark, lighting up our stories from the dark. Tell the truth, it's our time to shine. On this couch we're divine.
Welcome back to the Yellow Couch Collective podcast. I'm Brittany Montgomery, your host for today, and our Yellow Couch podcast is here to discuss Black women and the adversity that they face, whether it be in the professional arena or in the career arena. So I am here today with Dr. Emerald Fulmore. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you for being here. I cannot wait to dive into our conversation.
Yes.
So first, Dr. Emerald Fulmore is a powerhouse at the intersection of sports, business, and education. A licensed WNBA agent, Chief Partnership Officer with ACE Sports Group, and founder of Empower with Purpose, where she uplifts and connects women in sports leadership. With over 25 years of experience in athletics and education, Dr. Fulmore is redefining what representation, empowerment, and economic opportunity look like for women in the game, both on and off the court. So let's get into it.
Yes.
So, first, you spent more than 2 decades shaping opportunities in athletics and education. Looking back, what early experiences in Lumberton or your college years at Winston-Salem State set the tone for your leadership journey?
Well, for me, I would say what set the tone was my mom. She always allowed me to dive into all the sports arenas that I wanted to do. So I was a basketball player, volleyball player. I was not successful at softball, but I put my hand in it.
Right.
Just a little bit. So I always kind of knew that I wanted to be
Okay.
in the sports arena. So when I was accepted to Winston-Salem State University, my thought process was, I can major in sports medicine. So
Okay.
they had a kinesiology program, but then I found they had a sports management program.
Okay.
So from there, that's what prompted me to say, okay, well, let's look at the business side of sports and the impact of women in representation for
Right.
that field. And that's what sparked my interest more into the business side of it, the agent side of things as well. And I also thought I was going to play volleyball too.
Okay.
But I had to be very selective of what I was going to be doing in terms of my academics, or was it going to be sports?
Okay.
So from there, I was like, you know what? I need to focus on my academics, because I already knew once I got sidetracked in sports, I was going to be all in.
Right.
So I had to be very mindful of what I went to college to do.
Okay.
And that was to get my degree, and sports management was that leading degree and major for me.
Okay, that's good. Good to know and so inspirational. So speaking of inspirational, what inspired you to merge your passion for sports with business and educational leadership, and how have those intersections defined your career?
Oh gosh. Well, I think just working with young women, particularly within the sports environment,
Right.
has really kind of guided me in all the different avenues that I've been in, looking at some of the young ladies and how they've kind of had different challenges,
Right.
and the challenges that I've incurred as well. So really helping each other through
Right.
those different environments.
Yeah, reach one, teach one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, having those mentors that I've had in my
Right.
life that kind of pushed me along the way
Okay.
as well to do amazing things. So
Okay.
for a lot of people that really don't know, I was in the world of compliance for the longest time.
Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
knowing the laws, policies,
Yes.
procedures, regulations, and going into that field was very scary for me, but I had a great mentor and young lady who taught me how to maneuver that
Right.
industry, because I was her graduate assistant at Delaware State University.
Okay.
So just getting that experience during my internship really kind of like set the tone for my path in the
Right.
athletics administration environment as well. So really just kind of pushing forward through those different hurdles and challenges
Yeah.
within that area has really kind of given me that leverage on maneuvering through sports, business, just understanding like how laws work,
Okay.
writing waivers and all of the different things to kind of really position myself in a great space with others.
So that kind of came full circle because I remember even before we got started, we talked about how you wanted to be a sports agent,
Yes.
but it required a law degree.
It did.
But then you did do the compliance piece, so
did.
you did get that introduction in the law. So it's funny how that came full circle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
The pivot.
yeah. So many of our members talk about purpose alignment. When did you first recognize that your purpose was tied to empowering others, especially women in sports? Because we don't see that too often.
Absolutely. So being within the athletic arena, attending various fireside chats, different
Okay.
programs through the NCAA,
Okay.
and seeing women that look like me,
Yes.
that was the piece that was the empowering part. Then connecting with those women, identifying all the different hurdles, challenges,
Right.
barriers that they overcame to be within the athletic administration
Okay.
arena. Those are some of the things that really kind of prompted like, okay, they're very empowering.
Right.
So how can I be in their shoes one day and also help someone that was in my shoes?
Right. How
So-
many? So that brings me to another question.
Yep, go
So, how many women look like you in this arena that you're in? Because I wouldn't think that it was that many.
It was not. It was
Okay.
a very small group of women.
Okay.
So let's take it to the point of when I was attending these different events.
Mm-hmm.
So there was more women that did not look like me than there was women that looked like me. Let's
Okay.
say that. So
Okay.
there were very far few and in between, as they would
Okay.
say. And I tried to hold like a good, tight grasp on those
Right.
women because I already knew like they had to go through something to be
Exactly.
in that space.
Okay.
And we would just have like our little small breakout sessions, and it was like an automatic gravitation
Right. I was
towards
gonna
them.
ask that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from there, like building that connection, but I knew that it could not be the end all with this small
Right.
group of women. We had to find ways to grow
Yeah.
those numbers, and now the numbers look extremely different. More
Yeah.
women that look like me are getting more recognition,
Yes.
awards on the NCAA platforms and national platforms outside of the NCAA
Well,
and
good.
within their collegiate endeavors.
That's
So,
excellent. So y'all were kicking indoors.
Yeah. Okay. Overcoming those hurdles and challenges and breaking those barriers.
Yeah, the first
With
one on the
kicking glass.
battlefield.
Yes.
Yeah, first one's on the battlefield. So, as a WNBA agent and chief partnership officer, you operate in a space where representation of Black women is still limited, which we
Yes.
just talked about. How have you navigated that space, and what does economic empowerment look like in the sports industry today?
For me, it's doing the research.
Okay.
It's reading. For me, I want to be more of an advocate for
Okay.
those women because absolutely representation is very, very important.
Exactly.
And not only being represented domestically, but being represented internationally. I'm learning that more and more women of color are playing on the international circuit,
Right.
but they're not getting the same level of treatment that we are getting here domestically.
I could think of one that comes to mind.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, just being that advocate for those women within that arena and bringing that to the forefront within our sports agency,
Right.
Because that right there will help benefit other women in other spaces, such
Right.
as or other sports such as boxing, track and field,
Yes.
swimming, lacrosse,
And you know
all
what?
of things.
So funny that you mentioned that because my mind only went to like America, which
Yes.
as an American sometimes we do. But I didn't even think about, the basketball teams that are overseas or even venturing into boxing or other avenues like that. My mind just went to basketball. So yeah, you're opening it up for a lot of different people.
Yes.
So now let's switch because you also have a nonprofit, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So through Empower with Purpose, you're connecting women in sports globally.
Yes.
We're just leading right into it. How do you see this initiative advancing economic development, not just visibility for Black women professionals?
Oh, we are moving. Let me tell you, Empower with Purpose, we are empowering
Yeah.
all of our young women, our collegiate women, our professional women.
Okay.
So myself and a couple of other phenomenal women in the world of sports created the Women's Power Huddle. And we kicked off our first inaugural Power Huddle last month at
Okay.
American University.
So tell me more about that.
So, yes, the women, when I say dynamic women, we have women that have been in the law space, in the boxing space.
Okay.
Also, basketball space. We had some key speakers, but our segment was focused on football and NASCAR, believe it or not.
So I
Yes.
love Lewis Hamilton in Formula One because I want to get to the Monaco Grand Prix.
And look, and lo and behold, I have a great connection that I'll be actually speaking with a young lady and her publicist, but her son is a Formula One driver.
Yes.
He's 15 years old. Truly Adams.
Yeah.
Check him out.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, a male of color as well.
Yes.
So these are some of the things when we talk about representation. I want to
Yes.
see us in all
Yes,
avenues
because Lewis
of sports.
Hamilton been holding it down for what, 10,
A
12?
long
He's a
time.
long time.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've seen another Formula One driver of color. I have not.
Nope, we don't exist because the financial backing. So that's when it comes to the
Okay.
business side of things. So
Okay.
how can we raise those sponsorship dollars, get investors
Right.
for our young men, particularly of color, because it is
Right.
definitely it's a money game.
That is. That is. I remember one of my friends was invited to the Miami Grand Prix, and when she walked into where she was going, she was like it was a culture shock because
Yes.
she was the only one there,
Absolutely.
and she just didn't realize that is what she was walking into.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So yeah, we're gonna have to keep in touch on,
Yes,
on the
absolutely.
on the
I got you.
Formula One. So the NAM BPWC mission focuses on promoting and protecting the interests of African American business and professional women. How has, and we touched on this before, how has mentorship, partnership, and business strategy played a role in protecting those interests in your field?
They work in tandem together.
Right.
So, of course, having a mentor, which
Okay.
can lead to partnerships
Yes.
with those mentors and others in their space,
Yeah.
which can then lead to a business strategy to identify how a passion that you may be interested
Right.
in or want to do can lead to those various opportunities beyond what you would have even thought about. So I love being in the space of different networks
Right.
because they say your network
Networking
is
is
your
key.
network, okay? So absolutely,
Yeah.
just they work off of each other in tandem.
Right. Okay, and then what barriers still exist, particularly for women of color who want to enter the sports management or agency world, and what steps can organizations like NAMBPWC take to help change that? So how can we help you?
The biggest thing is visibility.
Okay.
Of course, financially, we
Yes.
see a lot of women's sports are fighting for their equity and pay.
Yes.
So that support system right there, and then
Okay.
just again, you're doing it by having me here to
Yes.
talk about it.
Yes.
That right there is a win within women in sports because
Okay.
we're here to talk about the story, the journey, the challenges,
Right.
some of those hurdles, and how we can all collaborate and partner on
Exactly.
supporting our women in sports.
I like that. I like that. So now let's transition to education because
Let's go.
you're Dr. Fulmore. So you earned your doctorate in educational leadership while holding executive and teaching roles. So talk about superstar. So how has education shaped the way you lead and empower others?
Oh, education to me is very important because
Yes.
I'm even thinking about my law degree. Okay. So it doesn't stop, but
Yeah.
it has shaped my mindset and my thought process just on so many various levels. So, of course, I have my undergraduate in sports management, but I also have my master's in business. So that
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
so they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Tandem.
It
Yeah.
allowed me to then start my own organization
Right.
to work and operate it from a business entity.
Right.
But also having now the educational leadership portion of
I was
it.
going to say that goes in tandem too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now
Because
I'm
at some
working.
point you can start teaching.
Absolutely. Yes. So as a sports management professor at Bowie State University, I am supporting my students
Yes.
on all of those levels because I want them to not only have their sports management degree, but I want them to continue with their masters
Right.
so that they can continue to develop. And those opportunities out there now, most of them require a master's degree.
Right.
So I want to support them any way that I can going within their own career path for sports.
Right. So you are a great resource for your students because
Yes,
you have
all
it
day.
all. Yeah.
I tell them,
yeah.
you need something, I'm here
Yes.
for you. I can
Yes.
put you in a space or I can put the people in front of you as well.
Right. That's Yeah. You often speak about connections and collaboration. So, and we touched on this. What advice do you give your students and mentees about building networks that create lasting opportunities? So, this goes back to when you saw those few and far in between black women in
Yes.
that arena and you gravitated to them.
Absolutely. When I put people in the sports environment in front of my
Mm-hmm.
students, I tell them you should not walk out of that room without one contact. They should know who you
Right.
are.
Yes.
The elevator pitch is real. You should understand who you are as a student or as a young man, young woman, where you want to be, what are your goals, what are your aspirations.
Yeah.
Talk to the professionals because they have 9 times out of 10 they've been there, they've done it,
Right.
but they are still here to support you as well.
Right.
So I make sure that my students stay connected. The
Right.
follow up, I say showing
Yeah.
up is the first part, but the
Yes.
follow up
Yeah,
is the
that's key.
second part. It's very key.
Yeah, that's real. That's key. Okay. So, as someone who served on NCAA committees
Yeah.
and teaches at an HBCU, how do you see education, particularly within Black institutions, driving both personal and economic transformation for our communities? And I think this is especially important now with the attack on DEI.
Absolutely. And I preach this a lot to my male students because within education, we have more female professors and teachers
Okay.
than we do for our male students.
Okay.
So allowing them to understand that teaching is cross-functional, it's
Right.
transferable. So many of them want to coach.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, if you want to coach, there are a lot of teachable moments
Right.
within coaching. So how can you translate what you have learned within your 4 years here at the university under sports management?
Right.
What have you learned that you can now transfer over to a young student or young football player, young basketball player? So
Yeah.
taking all of those things that we are developing and building within our student base so that they can take it out into the community and
Right.
support those younger students that are coming behind them as
Yeah,
well.
because those are transferable skills. Because
Absolutely.
if you want to be a coach, you can transform that to being a sports agent.
Being a sports agent, yes.
You can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
You can do a lot. So the journey to leadership is rarely easy. What's the defining challenge you faced in your career, and how did that moment reshape your outlook or leadership style?
When I say there's so many, and when I have this conversation in regards to some of the major challenges and ones that have stood out, I was once looking to be in the athletic director seat,
Okay.
and I was blocked not once but twice.
Okay.
Writing different job descriptions, putting all the things that I was doing within my day-to-day work life
Okay.
in sports, in collegiate sports, and it just didn't play in my favor.
Okay.
So what I had to do was I had to come to an end of not driving myself into the ground. Give
Okay.
myself a break. So
Right.
it's okay to take a break or step back from sports.
Right.
Or any space that you're not in a good place with.
Exactly.
So I can honestly say that I wasn't in a good space, in a good place. So I took a break and went into the government sector.
Okay.
But the government sector could not keep me away from sports.
Right.
So that's why I'm still here as a faculty member. And that one instance taught me that, you know what, I got to be resilient
Right.
in all of the things that come my way. I can't let this one thing break me down
Right.
and deter me from my end goal.
Right.
So the pivot took place.
Okay.
Since I had left athletics administration, I found a way to still
Yeah.
compare it with what I was doing. Now I'm teaching sports management. So now I am not only working with our student athletes, but I'm working with our students in sports.
Yeah. So talk
The
about that.
demographic group.
Yeah, that pivot is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, because funny, it's good that you had that balance of resiliency, but also I need to step back. I need to get that peace of
Yes.
mind. And I think oftentimes people don't, they
don't do
can't.
that.
Yeah, they don't
They
do
talk
that
about
at
the
all.
work-life balance.
Yeah.
Working in sports is very competitive. And
Yes.
technically there is no work-life balance, but you have to make it work for you.
Right. And what is best for you? Because what's best for
Absolutely.
you may not be what's best for me. So you have to
Absolutely.
figure that out on
Yes.
your own. So, as a woman of faith and a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, how have your values guided your approach to leadership, mentorship, and service?
It's a sisterhood.
Yeah.
Because I work
Always.
with so many amazing, phenomenal women.
Uh-huh.
And it's not only women of Delta Sigma Theta sorority incorporated, it's women of Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah.
women of Zeta, Phi Beta.
Right.
Like it's all of us. We
Yeah.
all work in sports.
Right.
It's not just one shade. It's not just one
Right.
program or sisterhood. We all
love
come
that.
together to support our women in sports because sports is a fraternity and a sorority of its own.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
you gotta be all in,
Yes.
or you gotta be out.
Well, and here at NAMBPWC, we call ourselves Club Sisters, so you got another sister in me.
I love
So,
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then how do you practice self-care and resilience while carrying the responsibility of empowering others?
Well,
That's huge.
it is very huge. And I have accountability partners that will say, you need to take a step back. You're doing too much.
Okay.
And look, people all the time want to say that they shy away from therapy. I love my therapist,
Yeah.
because she puts me in alignment as well.
Yes.
Especially when I feel like I am overwhelming myself.
Right.
Because I really take on a lot of different things.
Yes.
But my end goal is to always support, help, build, and uplift others.
Right.
And sometimes I forget about doing those things for
Right.
myself.
Yeah, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly. So it's good that you have those accountability
Yes.
partners that make you step all the way back.
All the way
so
back.
that you can continue to pour that greatness
Yes, and
into.
take a trip every now and then.
Do you hear me? And you know what? That reset would do wonders for your
It
peace of mind.
does.
That
It
does
does.
wonders for your peace of mind. So when you look at the next generation of women entering sports, business, or education, what gives you hope?
What gives me hope is the foundation that I'm laying right now for them.
Yes.
And it
I
won't
love
it won't
that.
stop.
Yeah.
So I'm here for them anytime they need me. I have students that have been 2 years removed from our sports management program that I follow up with and keep in contact with. And I am now putting them in spaces that I'm involved in.
I love that.
So that they can be a part of this industry as well.
Yes.
It may put them out of their comfort zone, but I'm here to hold their hand and tell them
Yeah.
that it's okay. We got this together.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
And you know what? I love that you emphasize, like, I am here to help those behind me.
Absolutely.
And I think so often, sometimes we just don't have that.
Yes, we
Sometimes we don't have, we may have someone backstabbing, we may have someone doing this, that, and the
Yes.
other. But I love to see a Black woman in a position where it's like, I'm gonna reach back and help. That's what
Absolutely.
I'm here for. I'm laying the foundation, like you said.
Yes.
I love that. I think that
You
is
gotta build
so-
this sister
Yes.
network is what I call it.
Yes. Ooh.
The
I lo-
Sistar Network. I'm telling you,
Yes.
y'all come on in.
Ooh, now I'm gonna steal that one.
Look,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm gonna borrow that one.
You got it.
So, and I think you touched on this because you said you are building, laying that foundation. What does legacy mean to you, and how do you define success beyond titles or achievements?
just leading with change, identifying accountability. I
Yeah.
didn't know what accountability was until I was in the sports management program.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
if I messed up once, my advisor and mentor would say, you know what, go get that change of major form. So I didn't know what accountability was
Yeah,
prior
but
to
you know now.
knowing what accountability is. So just identifying, like, this is a space for
Right.
me so that I can continue to lead with change, be intentional about
Yeah.
the spaces that I'm in, how I can continue to pour back, and how I can continue to build those relationships and
Yes.
partnerships to advance the Empower with Purpose mission.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, and to close us out, if you could leave one message on the yellow couch for every woman listening, what would it be?
Continue to live in your authentic self. Empower with Purpose is the true leading vision for my young women, especially
Yes.
my women of color who are entering the avenue of sports.
love
Paving
that.
that path is not always a straight line, but guess what? We are here to help you pave it along the
Yes.
way and build those blocks to extend that road beyond the surface.
I love that. And I love you. I'm not afraid to say
Yes,
that.
I love you too,
So,
sister. Sister.
Yes, sister. That's what we're going to call ourselves from here on out.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Fulmore, thank you for your leadership, your authenticity, and your commitment to creating pathways for women, especially women of color, in spaces where we've too often been unseen. Your story embodies the very essence of what the Yellow Couch Collective stands for: resilience, representation, and rising into legacy. So thank
you.
you so much for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
So this ends our segment with the amazing star Dr. Fulmore. We'll meet you back next week on the Yellow Couch Collective. Thank you.